everybody, welcome back to the channel. Early this morning I run to town and got some electrical stuff I needed and some more plumbing stuff. I've got a branch that's on my neighbor's 400 foot from my garden, and I had this morning I was trying to pull that pipe and it got so hot I had to quit. And my nephew's coming over in a few minutes. My air conditioner hooked up on the wire it's hooked up on seems to be on the same plug-in or the same circuit as the refrigerator. So when the refrigerator kicks on and the air conditioner's on, it kicks a breaker. So this morning I went and got a breaker. I got some wire, plug in everything. We're going to try to hook it up on a separate breaker. But it got so hot outside I couldn't do nothing else. So I decided to come in. And I thought I would break this gun down and clean it today. This is a Remington 550-I. My father had one of these, and when he passed away, my little brother got the gun, and I'd wanted one, like it for years, and I finally, got one. And these little guns shoot short, long rifles, semi-automatic, and that's a rare trick to find on these guns like this. And this right here is a shell reflector. And from what I've been told, they're about as rare as chicken's teeth, so it's hard to find them. Now, my brother-in-law, I still squirrel hunt this gun. I love this gun. It's as accurate. All the children, grandchildren, all love this gun. It's just that accurate. My brother-in-law made me a sling, and it's made out of paracord. It's one of them little things like you make a bracelet. But this is big enough to make a sling for a gun. So I asked him to make it because I ain't that talented. But, well, I remember putting it on there, so got to come off. There it comes. Okay, I'm going to lay this over here to the side. I don't want nothing to happen to it. The first thing we're going to do is look and make sure the gun is empty. And it is. Now this one here, I don't think will click back enough to hold it. I can't get it to anyway. I'm going to go ahead and move the tube out of the magazine because it is tube fed. And if I'm not wrong, it holds about 14 long rifles and almost 20 shorts. And you can actually mix them. And this gun here will shoot them without any flaws. I mean, at all. It don't matter what you put in or the combination you put in. It lets them go. And first thing I'm going to do to clean it, because this is kind of hard to find, I'm going to take it off real easy and make sure I don't booger up the screw or nothing. I know the one my dad had, I think he took it off and put it in a drawer. And it got lost over time, I guess. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what happened to it. But this here makes the shell reflect away from you to keep it from throwing it back towards you. We'll clean that up here in a minute. Okay. Now I'm going to turn it upside down. And right here in the center of the stock is a bolt. And then the one back here on the back of the trigger guard, I believe helps hold it. Now, it's been a minute since I've had this gun apart. So I'll check it and see if that does. It may not because it's wanting to fall down like that now. So it may be that just holds the trigger guard. But this has a stay bolt, I guess what I'd call it, where it won't fall out. Okay, I'm gonna lay this down for a second. And see, that bolt shouldn't fall out of that stock. Now, I steamed this stock years ago when I first got it and raised any little like dents and stuff out of it. And when I got done, I was so impressed. I mean, look at that. And that's the original finish on that gun. It has not been redone. The only thing I done was raise the dents and stuff in it. It's never been tapped for a sling or nothing like that, and I didn't want to do that. But I mean, you don't see many guns as old as this one is that it's got a stock and stuff in that good a shape. I've looked several times. I've never seen no rust on this gun, but that's why I keep it clean. Is I don't want it to get rust on either. Okay, to take this trigger guard off, you take out this back bolt and you rotate this around. It's kind of hard to get to, but once you turn it, you can get your screwdriver in there. And take it out. And lay this up here, and lay your screws together so you know where they're at. Okay, and that cleans that gets everything off the stock. We'll rub it down with the oil and stuff here in a minute. We'll go ahead and take the butt plate off because I want to get oil all over it so it protects the wood. It says it don't want to come off. Okay, it's not wanting to come off, so I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to bust this butt plate. I think I looked this up one time, and this gun was made in, I think, 63 or 64. So it's it's an older one. And the only things I found is right here on the barrel. It's got some bluing missing. And eventually, one winter, I will break it down and clean all that. But now, the next step of what we want to do is right back here, if you look, there's a trick here that's got a Phillips screwdriver, a place for a Phillips screwdriver. But most of the time, if you just twist it with your hand, you'll hear it click. It's got a little pin in there. But now remember, this is under pressure. So be sure you hold pressure against it while it's coming out. Because if you don't, it's going to shoot across the room and you may not find that spring that's in there. But just hold pressure against it, see, and it'll come out. We want to pull this whole piece out right here. Lay it down. If you slide this piece back to where you see the hole or this little spot right here at the back, there's a round spot there. This should pull up and come out. And then you should be able to just slide the rest of it out the back. So you can clean it. Now I could take the trigger and all that out of this one. It doesn't need it because it's been cleaned recently. You can even take this tube out if you want to. Now, if I was re-bluing this, see, I would just take this out. This is the tube stop. And you could gently work this tube. No, it's got a screw in it. Hold on just a second. Well, I'm not going to take it out anyway, but you could take, I'll show you when I decide to reblue the gun, the steps of doing all that. I'm just cleaning it today. Uh, there is a piece actually on this gun that's unique to it that allows it to shoot the longs, the shorts, and everything. And, you know, however it does, you know, it wants to, you stagger them, it'll shoot them. I remember when we was little, we was out one day shooting clay targets, you know, with shotguns. And my dad brought his out like this. And I can't say it was luck. I can't say if he was just that lucky. But he was shooting clay targets with his and busting them and us slanging them with one of them little bird flyers. And, you know, when we were little, that was sure impressive. Impressive. Now, here is the firing pin. It fell out of here. It just slides up in there. There's only one way it'll go in. And we'll clean it up and put a little dab oil on it. A 22 has the most, it's the dirtiest powder you can shoot. I may go ahead and just pull this all apart because it's been probably a couple years and has been shot. So let's go ahead and just pull it all the way apart. Here's that little bolt I took out a minute ago. My sister come down here this weekend, helped me do beans. And she got to pet one of them baby turkeys. And all that little devil has done since then is fly out. And when he flies out, or she, whatever it is, flies out, it comes straight over here, wallers around on my foot until it gets up on my leg. And then it wants to be held. Now, I took out the metal bolt right here in front of the trigger, and it's got a spring on it. Be sure you don't lose that spring. Okay, I'm going to take the, on back here at the safety, there's a bolt. I'm going to take it off too. I'm going to have to go hunt a better screwdriver. This one's twisting on the handle, so let me go find a better screwdriver and I'll be right back. Okay, I went and got a better screwdriver. Now, I'm going to take the screw out that holds this little safety on. And I'm going to lay it up here to the front also. Now, right here behind the trigger is another screw. We're going to go ahead and take it out. And that holds this little metal bracket. It just holds it up in there to keep the trigger and stuff in. So I'll go ahead and take it out. And I'll put these two back together so I know where that goes. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take out this front screw right here that was under the other screw. Okay, I got it out. I'm gonna lay it right up here with these other ones. Now I'm gonna pull the tube forward, or try to. That should have released it. It's not gonna come out, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that screw back in. And I'm not gonna force nothing because I don't want to tire this gun up. This screwdriver has a little magnetic end which helps put these screws back in. Sometimes you got these big gorilla hands, it's hard, I'll be honest. Oh my goodness, that's getting aggravating. Hold on just a second. Okay, I got it back in. On this one here, there's a thing here in the, it's in the front right here that helps, like it moves back and forth to help it receive the shorts and long rifles and stuff. And what I'm going to do is just give this all a good spraying in here and let it run out the end of the gun to kind of, do away with some of that carbon buildup at the, or not carbon, the powder buildup that's in there. And then I'll give everything a good oiling. Okay, let me get a thing to clean it with. It's that gun clean kit you've seen a dozen times. Let me just slide this up here where I can get to things. We know we're going to need this, so we'll go ahead and lay it out. I've got a swab I'm going to put that in there in a minute. I got some Q-tips we'll be using. And of course, we'll be using the 22 barrel cleaner. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little swab trick and get down in here the best I can in this part of it and clean it. Because right here's where most of your powder buildup's going to be. And I'm just going to work right through here at the bolt part, pull it back, and try to push it out the back here where I can get a hold to it. Look how dirty that is. That's that 22 gunpowder. You got to get that out of there, people, or they can't function right. I'm going to try to clean it where the bullet goes up in the barrel, that slide and everything. Get it as clean as I possibly can. Stick it down in here where the bullet comes up into the gun. Slide it back again. Go back towards the back. Slide it up, as many times as you can, back and forth. And let me state right now again, I am not a gunsmith. I'm not a professional. I just took several guns apart in my time to clean them. And anytime I buy a gun that's used, I like to take it apart. And that was clean when we put it in there. You see how dirty that is? And that has not had that many shell shot through it. Now I do have a towel on the table to help with anything gets on it. It'll just be thrown in the wash and clean. This is one of the privileges of being single you get. I can do this and there ain't no woman sitting there going, "What are you doing? Have you lost your mind?" Now I'm sticking this up in the edge of the barrel just a little bit. And anywhere I can rub, I'm going to try to rub it to get it as clean as I can. Now I'm going to hold this up and try to wipe the sides of it off because it does have powder on it. As you can see, that did get dirty, so we're going to go ahead and do it again. Well, let me do it this way. I'm going to lay the barrel up here, barrel assembly up here, and I'm going to assemble this. Okay. I'm going to spray some of this on it. And then I'm going to, first, I guess I'll run up and down the barrel. I'm going to lay it in here just to help me stabilize it because this little brush is really tight. I had some rags here. I was trying to see if I could see one. There's one of them. This is a sock with a hole in it. I keep them. I wash them. Then I, keep them for when I'm cleaning guns. I have a way to, have cloth to clean guns with, so you don't have to spend a lot of money. and I can't wear a sock. It's been what they call darned or whatever, because it'll darn there and cripple you. Okay. I'm going to look down the barrel to see how clean it is. So give me just a second. That's clean as a pin. And this gun has like brand new riflings in it. It obviously has not been shot much in its life. Now I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to run it right through here like I was the Q-tip, just to, make sure that it gets a little cleaner. I wish I had my knife here. I'd cut a piece of this sock off. See if I can tear it. Now what I'm gonna do is try to just tear a little square patch off his sock and stick it up in there. And just rub it back and forth too. I'm gonna go ahead and clean the sides of this. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the safety back so we don't get the trigger misaligned. That's what lines the trigger at the back. But I am gonna put 1 drop of oil on this just so that the trigger gets a little bit down there to lubricate it. I'm gonna put remember the little flat part where your safety is goes to the top. See, the trigger's trying to move to the side on me, so it's not letting me line it up correctly. That's what I was trying to take out was the trigger and stuff so I could clean it, but it didn't want to cooperate. Let me grab my flashlight so I can see what's going on in here, and I'll be right back with you. Okay. Okay, there it went. The spring, the trigger actually has a spring into it that attaches, goes up to this, and it was pushing it up out of the way. I may not have it lined yet. Yeah. So we're going to tighten that down. Give me just a second. I need me a big light up here so I can see what I'm doing. If I didn't have this big belly, I could see, what's underneath me too. You got to get all this stuff back in alignment or it won't work properly. And on these old guns, there was about 1,001 parts. Seems something has moved in there. And I got to, oh man, there's some crud in there too. See? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this piece back in it. I think I heard something fall. Let me see if it's a washer. Okay, I don't see nothing. Now this piece here goes in with the bolt side down. You have to kind of hold it with your finger to get this started. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can get this back together real quick. I can't do it right here. I'm going to go where there's more light. And I'll be right back. Okay, it took me a second to figure that out. What it is when you take this pin out for this safety, or for the safety switch, it doesn't screw into the side of the barrel like you would think. You have to take your screwdriver and push everything to the side, and you got to make sure that the safety is pointing down. Push everything to the side, then it screws into this little safety pin. I don't know if I can get it to where you can see it or not, but let's see. No, it ain't gonna let me. Let's see. But it's a complicated little trick there to get back together, but I got it. Okay. Now on this one just goes into the bottom right here. I may have to. This is the fun of having big fingers. Okay, I think I got it there. You get this lined up. We'll screw it back on. And you'll screw this back down tight. Okay. Now I've done put a drop of oil up the top. I'm gonna go ahead and put a drop right here where this little hole is. There's like a wide spot right there. That's where the pin is for the trigger. I'm gonna go ahead and put a drop of oil on each side of it to lubricate where the trigger works. And then I'm gonna come up here and lubricate this spring. And down here in here where you see that the pin is, go ahead and put you just one drop of oil. You don't need a lot, but just about one drop. Okay. Now, I'm going to spray this sock, or we'll call it a cleaning rag, and I'm going to get the firing pin, and I'm going to clean it and inspect it to see how it's holding up, because you got to remember, this is an old one. And it seems to be holding up just fine, but I'm going to get all the gunpowder off of it I can. And I'm going to lay it here. Now I'm going to take this cleaner and clean this bolt. I look like I cleaned my knee more than I did the bolt. Good thing I ain't in California. I'd say if you read that can, that probably causes cancer in California. But I ain't in California, so we don't have to worry about it. But I'm going to clean all this bolt just as clean as I can get it. This is why I keep Q-tips in here. They'll get in them little tight spots that you can't get to very good. And then I will oil this real clean. I'm going to spray down in the hole where the firing pin comes up through. Just to make sure that there's no debris in it. Okay, now I'm going to take and wipe off the outside of this bolt. I guess it's a bolt. I don't know. It seems like to me. But I'm going to get it as clean as possible too. I'm going to clean down in here where the firing pin goes. Okay, now I'm going to slide the firing pin back into place. There's only one way it'll go in. And there it went in. I'm going to bring it back just a little bit. And put about 4 little drops of oil in there. And then I'm going to put one right here in the front where the firing pin comes out. And if you do it like this, you can see your firing pin and how much of it there's left. And this one's still got quite a bit left, so it should be in good shape for a long time to come. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this screw that had the spring back in the gun. The biggest thing is don't cross thread it. Okay, that's in. That's in. I'm going to put the piece back on. It goes through the bolt or the screw that holds the magazine on. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to actually run the cleaning rod down the tube where the bullets goes. If I find that piece, I will. Yeah. There it is. I'm also going to run this little swab with just a dab of oil on it down through this tube where your bullets go in, just to lubricate it a little bit. Okay. Now we've lubricated all this here. And that is actually the thing that puts your shell. This comes down, lets your shell come out to here. Then this pushes it up, and then the bolt carries it into place in the gun. So we want to make sure that's oiled good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the bolt back in the gun, but I'm going to put a couple drops of oil on it and a thin coat. I'm going to put a little bit where you can see it's got these travel. See right here, it's got 2 little grooves. I'm going to put a drop or 2 of oil on each side. And then right here where this spring is on the other side, where it's the cell ejector, I'm going to put a drop of oil on it. I'm going to put a thin coat on the outside of it just to protect it. And I'm going to rub it in my finger so it's a real thin coat. Firing pin fell out, but okay. It's back in. Okay, I'm going to slide it. Remember, your pin goes in this little hole right here. This little thing right here. So we're going to slide it up in there. You may have to mash your trigger to get it to go. That's going to be a pain in the butt. Hold on just a second. Okay, I got my trigger and stuff in the way. Hold on just a second. I'm about to mash this down as I put it in. Okay, I'm going to take this bolt with the spring back out of it because it seems to be mashing something up against that carrier to keep it from going back in. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out and pull the spring back out. Okay, now you want to stop it right here even with that hole again. Like where the bolt come out right here, you want to catch it even with it, and then you will slide this in. Let me get over and see it. And then you want to push it forward till it locks it and see it's locked into place. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the spring and this bolt back in so it can hold pressure against that bolt. Okay, I got it back tight. And I'm going to work the action. I said I was. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the back. Maybe that's the last thing you do is put this bolt with the spring back in. It's been years since I took this thing apart. Just be patient and we'll try to figure it out together. I may do a video again to do it right so it doesn't seem like I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, now we're going to put the spring assembly back in. We don't want to get this cross threaded. We definitely don't want this thing to fly out because it'd go across the room like a rocket. Okay, we're going to tighten it down and make sure the bolt works, and it does. Okay, now I'm going to put the spring in on the screw. Pull it back up. Okay. Be sure you don't cross thread it. Okay. Everything seems to be working correctly. The safety, trigger won't pull. Push it up, trigger will pull. Put it back. Okay, now, right behind the bolt, I'm going to put a drop or two of oil and let them work their way around. Let me get the Q-tip here. I just kind of want to give it a little bit of coating oil right here so it everything's lubed. I'm going to work the bolt a couple times. And there it's back assembled. I'm going to take and put just a little film of oil down here on this metal right here just to protect it. And I'm using my fingers so I can just make the coat as thin as possible. I'm going to come right on up the gun because this all goes inside the stock. And I do want it to be protected inside the stock. So I'm going to put about 4 drops of oil on this side. I'm going to rub it up here for now, just to disperse it because it was getting too thick down there in the bottom part. Okay. Now I'm going to lay it back up in the vise. This is going to be one of the longer gun cleaning videos because it's an older gun. Says we're almost an hour into this. That was the flashlight. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and reattach the stock to the gun. And then I'm going to put the trigger guard back on it. I do want to wipe it out because I did notice that it had some gunpowder residue. There we go. You find these little bitty screws. Okay. I'm going to slide it up so I can get to it easier right here. I'm going to put the first one in the back and lined up to the original hole. Start it with my fingers to make sure that I get the threads lined up right. Even though it's going into wood, I still want the threads lined up. And I'm going to go ahead and just tighten it down enough to... I'm going to now, right before you get it completely tight, turn it to the front and align the front hole up. And then you want to put your front screw in your trigger guard. I dropped it. That's another thing about this towel. If you drop something, it catches it. Don't bounce it like a table would. Oh, it's too far over that way. Okay. Believe it or not, this is one of the guns that they said was a high capacity magazine that ought to be legalized. This thing ain't killed nothing but squirrels its whole life. Okay, now before I put the shield back on it, I'm going to put a little coat of oil on. I'm going to put some oil on this rag. And I'm just going to wipe it down. This gun, it goes hunting once a year, just more or less for nostalgia. But I do like it. It just took me forever to find one. You'd be so. I mean, I couldn't even down here where I'm at. It just seems like people don't let these old guns go no more. I mean, they hold on to them for dear life. And if you do happen to look up and find one, they want more for it than they want for, they would ask you for a new one. So I'm going to put a little thin coating on the wood because this is a safe princess. I ain't going to lie. I do. I mean, I take it hunting maybe once a year. And I'm just going to rub it down good. Then all I do is put the bullet shield on it. I'll loosen it up a little bit. Got a little tiny screw here, so I'd get this screwdriver turned inside of itself. It shouldn't be that tight. Can't tell if I got in. Yeah, I pulled it plumb out. You don't have to take it out. It's got a little slot there, so you can slide it in. Okay. Now I'm going to put this shield back on, and you just pull this back a little bit, and then it'll go on that hole. Slide it forward, and then just tighten your screw back down. And if you've got one with this old shield on it, hold on to it because it is something everybody's hunting. Well, there it is. It's clean and ready to go back in the closet. In the gun safe. I'm going to go ahead and put a little dab of oil on this. I'll rub it in my finger because I don't want just a thin coat. Okay. I'll go ahead and put it in place. And there it is. All right. I'm going to thank you for coming and watching. Y'all have a good day. Have a blessed day. Be good to each other. And like and subscribe if you haven't, please. And turn on the notification bell. I'm going to borrow guns from my neighbors and stuff and clean them for them, just so I can show you how to do it. And bad thing is, this is mine that made me more nervous than any gun I've cleaned. I couldn't tell you when. But y'all have a good day. Have a blessed day. and we'll see you on the next video.